Hello, everyone, and welcome to this third series in the Continental War II tournament. This is going to be a 4 versus 4, though, so a little bit different. And we'll have the VN team face off against the Rise of Rome team. Let me introduce the Rise of Rome team. So we have blue, teal, purple. Is it? Yeah, blue, yellow,
blue,
orange, red.
Other team.
So on the right side, we have Roger playing as the Turks. In the pocket position, we have Pete Martel playing as the Slavs. In the pocket position, we have Angelina Jolie playing as the Magyars. And the left, we have Camille Wa playing as the Byzantines.
And he's playing against the Dark Knight. Chinese, very short distance here. He has Mr. Mio behind him, having the Mongols. The other pocket is Mr. Twig, Japanese, and the other flank, Heimdall, Koreans.
Yeah, so which we could ask the same question as the last series. Which team would you prefer, and then which civilization pool would you prefer?
Tricky one. I think VN should be a bit better, right? Dark Knight 2.1k, Milo as well, Twig 2.3k. Heimdall, honestly, a guy I've never heard before. And on the other side, we are around like the 1900 to 2k region. So VN stronger there. And I feel on this map, I like the Asian civilizations.
It's hard to say. The Mongols is very strong, obviously. Chinese have good versatility. Japanese, pretty good. Koreans could maybe do a tower rush. They are certainly on the flank, so that could be very strong. And then for the other team has pretty good cavalry civilizations, I think. Well, the Magyars are pretty good, but the Turks are usually not so good, but maybe their cavalry archers could be. Slavs are pretty decent. Byzantines, I kind of question. So I think because of that, I would take the Asian civilizations as well. And as far as the players, Heimdall, I've seen him play quite a bit. I think he's 1800 level. And I think skill level, I would give it... Skill level, I'm not 100% sure because I don't know all the players. But I definitely know the VN team with their reputation.
Well, so we also have to mention that RoR has a perfect positioning there, right? Magyar, Slav pockets, if they want to go into scouts, they will have strong ecos, strong, easily massable armies as well. So I think they're in a pretty good spot. And Heimdall already with a very big loss here, losing his scout, could be really ugly if he wanted to tower rush, but judging by his walls, he's not trying to go for that.
He might have enough scouting information to be able to do so. He sees the stone, town center, and berries. Lucky for him, that gold is also forward too. But yeah, with the walls, probably not going to do so. And if you don't go for a tower rush as Koreans, it's, you're forfeiting, 3 of your bonuses there. So not the best civilization, especially on the flank.
The prime. Yeah, that's true. Maybe going on to archers then on the front side. Not too great. Then you have Japanese going for knights, but your enemy, well, Slavs pocket as well. You're somewhat behind.
Yeah, I think so definitely as well. I think Japanese could be a pretty decent Castle Age Knight rush civilization. Luckily, the Mongols really are the powerhouse of this civilization. And it's pretty good that they're on the in the pocket position. I do want to mention that you did mention earlier that Dark Knight and Kamigwa are very close together. They're extremely close together. It's pretty unusual for players to be, in this kind of orientation that they are in, and I wonder how that'll impact the game. It's kind of as if that Angelina Jolie's kind of like a flank too with that positioning.
Well, certainly pretty open, yeah. And yeah, it will be interesting, but you need to focus on the Byzantines first, because if you don't pressure him early and he messes up those mass amount of trash, then your skirms or his skirms kill your crossbows, his pikemen kill the knights of your pocket, and it can really snowball quite heavily.
Yeah, we saw how effective the Halberdier were last game. Imagine if there was a bonus for them. I think that pushing straight through to your opponent, it might be a situation where trash might be useful. This map might lend itself to that. I just want to say, Angelina Jolie, 19 population up. That's pretty ridiculous for the Magyars, which don't get an economy bonus. This will be a deadly scout rush from him, hopefully.
Hopefully. Well, we will see. 90 pop is really early. That's so true. Without any real eco bonuses at the start, that's kind of quick. And well, we have 6 players on the way up. Who's missing? We have the Turks player at the side who's playing Pop 23 or something very late, and Heimdall as well. So the right hand side on the slower end, the rest pretty solid.
Pop 23 is a little unusual. Probably is not going to be probably not going to be scouts, but is that going to be archers from the from that position?
Well, Turks play pretty well with archers, and you kind of want to have your pocket going scouts and yourself going archers. So I think Turks are still fine, and if you are playing Turks, it is okay to be a bit later. You can mass your archers up quite nicely anyways.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't take too much pressure from the early game though. If there's gonna be some scouts coming in, that's always the risk when you go straight archers on an open map.
Well, we will see. Trick is certainly going for scouts, as we're expecting from all the pocket positions here. It is 2018 after all.
Of course. Oh, 5 villagers forward though from Heimdall. Look at this, and a militia out too.
Okay, so that is the no, only militia aggression. He collected. Oh no, he's collecting more gold. He collected. What is that? 50 gold without a mining camp.
Well, this is kind of his window of opportunity again, with the straight archery range opening from Roger. This might leave him a little bit open to a tower. We have 5 villagers building a tower from Roger, and it'll be 5 villagers. 5 villagers for Heimdall. Do you know how fast their towers build nowadays?
5% faster, but that's still quite massive because he already started it earlier anyways, and now the men-at-arms should be coming in, but there's still only militia here trying to fight off against one villager, which will get home. The tower obviously will go up from the Korean player.
Yeah, and that's gonna... It's not quite close enough to get to the goal, but with those militia, that can certainly... Maybe he could be able to win that tower battle there, and without the gold, what can you do as the Turks? That's kind of a big deal.
Well, still, a lot of scouts could help out here. It's pretty important that Twig and Pete Martell are both sending all their stuff over. Those militia at the front, low HP, so fighting under that will be tricky. But already quite low on HP here with the tower. I'm quite surprised how fast he's losing those HP on the tower.
Yeah, and on the left side, we have a scout rush from Angelina Jolie. I don't think... he's got 2-to-1 KD ratio, so maybe he did a little bit of damage, but it looks like Dark Knight will be able to mass up his crossbows, and he's kind of closing off his map a little bit, so that's definitely great for him.
Okay, well, let's take a look. Both of them are going for archers, kind of untypical for Bison Cities player, but also makes a lot of sense when it comes to army team composition. Let's take a look. Not real engagement there over at the left-hand side. And don't you feel like Pete Martell should have helped out with the tower rush there instead of raiding Teal in the back? I wanted to say, but look at that. He's doing massive amount of damage.
Yeah, he is doing a great amount of damage. He's got a little lucky with that, actually. But I think that standard play, yes, he should have gone towards the south because it's much easier to stop a Korean's tower rush when you stop their first tower. And it's going to be a lot harder going forward if the Koreans player wants to keep adding towers.
Yeah, well, let's take a look. He should have a lot of stone indeed, so maybe towering up a bit more could be an option. Scouts of Twig in the back. Take a look. Red Scout could maybe snag some of the stone villagers of Heimdall now.
Yeah, certainly. I look confused. Why does Heimdall not make defensive towers in his own base? He's got 600 stone in the bank, and he's going to lose a lot more villagers here. Here comes the spearman a little bit late.
Well, talking of losing stuff, on the other side is looking pretty good for Kamigawa, who's killing all the army here of the Dark Knight. So good job. And suddenly, military count, Dark Knight 0. Now up to 1. The archers will squeeze through. The tower might not go up. Well, the fast wall.
Oh, fast walls, wow.
Oh boy. Still, can he not sit there and deny the tower from going up?
No, I think he could and still deny it, but he's just going to move around towards the north side. It's still not walled over there, and those villagers, they really want to be able to chop that wood, so they haven't run back quite yet. So that's going to be a lot of villagers down, actually.
Oh man, heavy losses here for our green player, and they had the hill advantage and still lost it. Kind of sloppy play here. And speaking of sloppy plays, Teal again in some danger with his villagers, and Red's doing pretty well there. Blue, well, he lost some of his aggression, but didn't lose any villagers, right? Or maybe 1 or 2 at the start.
Yeah, Teal's playing quite sloppy. He's got no towers back at home. His economy is a mess. Never really capitalized after taking away that gold. I think Roger needs to move on to another gold, but there's a gold all the way in the very back of his base. So really didn't capitalize on this tower rush and then didn't defend at home.
Let's take a look, Roger. Does he see that gold spot? No, he does not. So, yeah, just goes for stone for now. Maybe runs a bit over. Looks like he might be sending some villagers over to the base of Pete Martell even.
Pete Martell moving around towards the back of Twig's base, trying to find another villager kill. Can potentially do quite a bit of damage as Twig really doesn't have a lot of defense. Only two spearmen. 2 players going up to the next stage now. We have Twig and Angelina Jolie right across from each other going up to the next stage.
Well, let's see. Now he moves to the 3rd player, trying to find some damage against Mio, who in the meanwhile went up to +1 defense, bloodline scouts here as Mongols. So he really needed to invest quite a bit into defending that area. And yeah, now is a bit later than Angelina Jolie, who will get onto a lot of knights here, I assume.
I think this is another sloppy play from Roger. He knows that he's got some villagers, some Korean villagers, and some towers at the front of his base, but continues to seed farms towards that side of the map.
Well, let's take a look. They're getting another raid-in, but not getting the villager. Are you kidding me? No, okay. Sniping that one down in the top. And, well, is there some action we're missing at the moment? It seems like Teal Blue kind of stabilized as well. Time to breathe.
Yeah, just for the time being until this Castle Age comes in. We have 2 staples from Twig, 2 staples from Angelina Jolie. I certainly like the Magyar's Knights a little bit better, but the Turkish Knights should be, the Japanese Knights should be pretty good in the early game. Terrible gold mine for Twig if he is to get raided on that gold mine.
Yeah, well, that's pretty ugly. He had such a better one at the top there. I'm quite surprised that he didn't go for that one. Maybe build a TC there later on could be nice. And oh god, they're not playing with MQ.
Oh.
Look at that, Twig stable. 3 in 1 stable, none in the other.
You need to try to make as many, as little mistakes as possible in these kinds of games, especially when you have the opportunity to build knights so early on. Dark Knight trying to wall in his base a little bit. They're just paper-thin palisade walls. They're really not going to do too much. Luckily, he has survived, but we do have a bit of a tech advantage, I think, for the Rise of Rome team, as I think 3 of their players are into the Castle Age now.
Yeah, and they will pressure green, and he only has 1 tower. Now he's kind of moving out of position. I think he should have kept himself up to his archery ranges on that hill. Now Kamigawa is moving in. He is getting Botkin arrow and crossbowman any second. The knights are moving in as well, and I think then he will take the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Kamigawa should take the fight, should try to move in. Again, it's not walled behind this wall. That's really a half-assed wall. It just would take a stone gate to be able to finish that off, and it's unfortunate he didn't do that. Now trying to get in these quick walls again, but they're not going to have a lot of HP on them, and could walk around them anyway.
And, well, let's see. I think green doesn't really want to fight there. He's having so many losses. Knights are getting the kills in here as well. Pretty ugly spot. Goes for a 3rd archery range. And Mio, well, he went onto so many scouts. That's why he's late to the party now. And, well, it's looking good for RoR here.
Yeah, absolutely. This could be where Dark Knight breaks in this situation. He's losing a lot of army. Dark Knight is not up to the next age at all. And that said, neither is Heimdall. It's looking really bad for their team.
But, well, let's see. Twig is doing quite some reasonable damage against Pete Martell's and Roger's side here. So maybe there with a small overchop or breaking the walls could kill all that. But, yeah, the big problem is still at the side of Dark Knight.
Yeah, so that tower's going to go down. That's going to be some more villager kills. Dark Knight is not going to... Well, he's up to the Castle Age now, but it's going to be really hard to be able to mine gold and make enough army to help defend from here.
And no chance. He's not even pulling all the villagers. That's kind of sloppy as well. Could have saved 2-3 more here if you ask me. And, well, those are heavy losses. Now goes down to 23 villagers only.
And if you look at the economies, I think Angelina Jolie's done a great job putting pressure, but also building his economy at home. He's got 3 town centers that have been up for some time. Should take a bit of a villager advantage, whereas Milo just got his town centers up right now. And Twig is still kind of working on it as well. So down on the bottom, there's a big fight, and Twig is going to be able to take the hill there, push back, Pete Martell. Twig's going to try to do some damage. There's some quick walls coming up from Roger. He's going with 2 more archer ranges. I wouldn't be surprised to see cavalry archers, actually, in this situation. And let's see if Twig is going to be able to do any damage with his knights as he moves in.
Yes, by whom? The Turks player?
Yeah, Roger. He could go cavalry archers.
Well, could make sense, especially if he gets a castle up, which isn't like too much out of the question. Getting some more extra HP there, and well, still get some raids against himself here. Just feels like Pete Martell is not really getting the numbers up compared to Twig.
Well, Pete Martell's his economy looks, absolutely anemic. He's only got 2 town centers up. Not a lot of army from him. He wasn't really raided earlier on in this game. I'm kind of wondering what's up with his play this game.
Well, maybe rewatch the record there. We had maybe some raids went there, which we didn't catch, obviously, in the 4v4. It sometimes gets tricky. Indeed, CA here for our Turk player. Trick is trying to find new angles to attack. Pete Martell, no upgrades for him. Doesn't really have the numbers as well. Slav eco should just be so much better.
Yeah, it should be so much better than it is right now. Camigua on the north side, breaking through those paper-thin walls once again. And looks like Dark Knight luckily did find a gold in the back of his base, so he's able to maintain crossbow production now. And it looks like Camigua might be going over to Milo's base next, where there's a huge fight actually going on. Or just went on outside of Milo's stable.
Yeah, he cleared up some of the crossbowmen. More crossbowmen are coming over. They're trying to pressure the stable there. It is Mio going for the mass knight, still added even in some camels. But it's just so tricky for him to fight the 2v1.
Absolutely. Those crossbows are really going to add a lot to that composition. It's going to be harder to wall behind, of course, or repair. And now Milo might be in a bit of trouble. He needs more stables up. He's going to lose 1 right here. And I think Angelina Jolie should just keep piling on the pressure, getting +2 armor now.
Yeah, well, it just makes so much sense, right? Because the natural counter of the Mongols against mass knights is camels, and they won't perform too well against the crossbowmen of our orange player here. So will be a tricky situation, and military numbers in general simply not in favor for our VN guys.
Yeah, so looks like, are they going to take this fight? Not quite yet. So just waiting on getting that last big fight. Siege Workshop coming in the back of Milo's base. Gonna take out these stables, though. That's a nice little victory for him. Generally, those stables will have to be rebuilded. Archer's coming in towards the back with Dark Knight, though. And
well, that makes 0 sense, right? They have solid upgrade. Well, it makes sense that Twig is around there as well, so maybe they can fight the 3v1 and 3v2 fight. Nice team play.
Yeah, great team play, and this will be a great cleanup if they get it. Certainly will keep Milo still in this game. And hopefully be able to push out after this fight. And yeah, it looks like they're going to win this fight.
Heimdall is now getting raided at home, has a lot of towers though, shouldn't be taking too much damage. I think he should be transitioning into a sling now, because what else can he do?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at this stage of the game, it's never great for a team game if all you're going to make is towers. How many towers does he? My god. So many towers.
That's too much, right? 5, 8, 9, 10 at the front. Make that 16, 18
I count 17.
towers at least. On my
Maybe
first
18.
try. Yeah, something like that.
So on the left side, kind of stabilized after taking a great fight. Scores are still 300 ahead, so a little bit of advantage for our Rise of Rome team as Camigua goes up to the Imperial Age. Also getting Horse Collar right now, not the best play. But with Imperial Age, should hopefully get into the Byzantine Arbalest. Important that he doesn't lose those units, of course, right now. And it doesn't look like he will. And he's already got the Siege Workshop up, so planning a big push onto Dark Knight.
I see that coming as well. Goes for more archery ranges, more siege workshops as well. He will just camp this out, Arbalest, and that should be pretty much unstoppable here for, well, a deep into Castle Age Mongols player and a pretty much dead Chinese player.
Yeah, as well, Dark Knight losing a lot of crossbows right now. Kamigua's just so far ahead of Dark Knight. I think that's really the biggest difference in this game, is the difference between these two players right now. And it certainly is not going to get any better if Dark Knight is going to lose some of his crossbows to a big mangonel hit. Here it comes.
Oh god, and he's not taking care, but the whoa, last moment, well,
close,
Knight actually
yeah.
went down. But fine, but well, actually, that's a lot of Knights taking damage there to get the mangonel kill there. And do they really want to take an engagement here? I think they will win it. So yeah, it shouldn't be a big problem.
Yeah, I think they'll win it pretty handedly, especially with Milo moving out at the worst possible time. I think he should just run back with his knights. No, he's going to take the engagement, and that's going to be a great cleanup. They have tons of momentum here on the left side. 2 Imperial Age players about to be. And I don't know how they're going to stop this on the left side. We're going against the Imperial Age right now, though.
Okay, so what are the next steps here? Right hand side still feels super stable. 1 defensive castle, more towers from Teal. Left hand side is probably where we should see the kill now, right? Mass rams. There should be no answer to that.
Absolutely. Byzantines do get all the upgrades on their rams, I believe. Go into each rams. Castle coming up, but you're going to have to build that castle a little farther back. Dark Knight is just so far out of this game. I don't see what he could do. It's going to be Arbalest, but none of these pocket civilizations get paladins, so that's not really going to be able to challenge a big, massive Arbalest. I mean, maybe going to have to hope if Milo is able to get his castles up.
Well, but even then, right?
Yeah, even then, it's not the greatest
thing
in the
adding
world.
more camels now. And, well, mass camels won't really do too much against Arbalest, right?
Yeah, Dow Castle coming up for Dark Knight.
That will be quite some losses. Ram's not really getting through, but he might even kill all the villagers before that.
Look at the villager number for Dark Knight.
This is just so brutal.
Oh. Dark Knight down to the same number of villagers he was 35 minutes ago.
Oh boy. Oh, 13 villagers now for him. He even has quite some gold income at the top there, but well, that defense didn't really work out too well for him there, and well, it kind of is only Twig still saying, okay, I can come over, I can help you out, guys, but honestly, he can't.
No, not at all. Pete Martell gonna go with a big raid onto Twig right now. Twig doesn't have a lot at home. In fact, it looks like he might be transitioning to Halberdier. Got a lot of pipe in here. Of course, the Japanese don't get great Cavalier. They don't get the last defense upgrade. So he's going to want to transition to something. But this is a good time for this raid to come in before that transition has occurred.
Yeah, and CA is helping out as well. And now we see Twig going back, but it is too late. And G to the G.
Yes, good game. So that's going to be 1-1 then.
Indeed, and it's quite surprising, right? How did VN win game number 1? And then RoR's picking kind of the most Arabia map out of all of them. Then wins quite convincingly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it felt like it was mainly the left-hand side. This one back fight where Dark Knights apparently didn't really take this hill control and then got really dicey at the end of Feudal Age.
Well, I mean, he could have walled off on the left side, and that didn't happen. Pete Martell did make the mistake of not stopping the tower rush, but that said, the tower rush didn't really do anything. And then, big raid, actually, on Heimdall's base by Pete Martell. Putting Heimdall basically, I mean, stuck onto building towers, which really didn't do anything for the later game.
So true, and well, that was game number 2. I'm really curious. What kind of map should VN play here?
I don't know so much about their team mechanics. I think what the teams have been doing so far is just picking a really oddball map and having a great strategy for it. Certainly works, since a lot of them have not known these maps. Have you seen the map Microphone before?
Yes, I looked through. I knew microphone before, but before the stream, or before the first game, I went through all the maps with my viewers.
Yeah, so I would just pick a really oddball map and have a. I would just pick maybe 2 or 3 maps that we practiced before the previous weeks and really get to know those pretty well, and just have some general strategies for the other ones.
Wouldn't hurt for sure. Okay, I'm doing my push-ups. Be right back.
Okay. Which one is it? Advanced Wars. I think I've only been playing the Total War soundtrack. I have requests, I'll take requests. Hope you've been enjoying the games, by the way. I have. And we're gonna go into game 3 pretty soon here. Alright, so we're waiting for players to start the game. They are sitting in lobby, probably thinking about the home map, which hasn't been announced quite yet. I'm gonna put 4 minutes back on the timer and should be... Oh, never mind. Here we go. 1 minute 30 left. So we'll be starting in just about a minute.
Hear what Nobody 41 has to say.
Hello?
Hello.
All right, and welcome to the game decider in this particular series between VN and Rise of Rome. We have score of 1-1, and this particular map is the map I have seen before. It's Meatballs. So let me introduce the VN team. On the right side, we have VN playing as the Mongols. In teal, we have Heimdall playing as the Koreans in the pocket position. Really are no pockets or flanks in this map. We have Twig playing as the Chinese in red, and on the left side, we have Dark Knight playing as the Japanese in green.
Indeed, and they are facing, again, Roger with Slavs, who was red in the game before, I believe. No, blue, all good. But they changed gray and red, right? Because Pete Martel is now playing the Turks, so they switched that around as well, pretty confusing. Byzantines for Kamigawa and orange, everything stayed fine there, and Magyars for Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, and this is... Meatballs is kind of a little bit of a crazy map. Do you think that it's more beneficial to go forward with your first few villagers or to go towards the back? I think forward's probably the more preferred option.
I think it should be a mixed strategy. Something like Marians, forward castle in the center, Spanish forward castle would be pretty good. In this case, maybe Mongols and Turks. And then like all the late civilizations could go a bit more towards the back. Like Slavs going to the back, Turks going forward, Byzantines going forward with monks. Would be a lovely strategy here.
Do you think that sling is at all possible in this particular map?
I think so, for sure. If you are the guy going to the back, for example, Koreans probably won't bring a lot to the table, right? And then just falling back 2 extra TCs and then go into a massive sling, good option.
You could see a sling for Korean keep rush, maybe. You have to see that.
Yeah. Well, it's tricky, right? If you're controlling a lot of the center and all the gold and stone spots, it might be pretty good. But, well, the enemy can still fall back and make something happen with the resources left over there.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Japanese is a little bit of a nice pickup on this particular map, so they'll be able to fish a little bit more effectively. I think the other civilizations don't really have any water bonuses that will come into effect on this particular game. Certainly, as you said before, civilizations with a strong, unique unit that's good at raiding in Castle Age, castles in general, will be able to take up a lot map control in the middle, and be very good for pushing. And hopefully, if you're able to take control of the middle, we'll be able to, dictate how the game goes. And as well, it's possible to get a landing, not get a landing, but to build a dock on your opponent's water and try to take out the fish. And it's kind of so all of these on this particular map, all the water's connected.
Yeah, that's one of the tricky strategies, trying to land at the other pond. But there's also kind of a bug map here as well. If we look at the front, if Heimdall wanted to land towards the center and go aggressively, he might land on an island that isn't really the mainland. It's just another big island. It's kind of a weird river. Blocking it off.
Is that... I don't know if that's technically a bug, because there are smaller little islands there. I think hopefully you should explore it enough to be able to land somewhere else. But that's an unfortunate dock position either way.
I don't mean the very small island in front of his. Just if he goes to the south, with the 1 gold, 1 stone, and a lot of wood, And that's still not the mainland.
Oh, shoot. Oh, I thought that was the mainland. Wow.
Ah.
Yeah,
So
that
good
is definitely
explained.
very weird. Wow.
Yeah.
At the same time, that
Yes,
could be a
no-
safe boom, I guess.
Yeah, and he could be swinging from there completely uncontested.
Yeah, but I doubt they would expect that.
Well, he's going to Trush, and he might land on that island, and then run over with the villagers and do 0. I see that coming, honestly. He will Trush this small island.
I think that he should at least. I don't think he would be trushing in that area anyway, because why would his opponents be in that area in the first place? So I think he's going to try to be a lot more aggressive with his trush, and try to get towards his opponent's base a little bit more. So
I think he will just run to the edge of the map with the villagers. What is this?
Do you think this is a good strategy from him, going for a early trush, assuming that he doesn't land on the bugged island, which he won't?
Okay, he won't. Well, it seems like he is running around, so that worked out way better for him than what I feared. And yeah, the Trush. Good question. I think most important thing is that he uses the transporter now for his whole team as well. That not all of the 4 players are building a transporter. But yeah, building a house there makes 0 sense. I think he needed to be more aggressive if he wants to Trush.
Well, the benefit is that if he gets some towers on the water, he's able to actually deny his opponent's fishing. At least part of it, anyway.
And he can build the docks then. Just think about, like, maybe they swing the Korean player onto turtle ships.
That would be the sickest play ever, if they did that.
Well, like, it's unstoppable, right? You cannot contest the towers. You cannot attack the slingers. This might be the masterpiece.
I think you could just play defensive in that situation.
Well, everyone loses their start islands against turtle ships. Okay,
Yeah,
no,
that's
he's
true
just
also.
trying
Yeah,
to
that's
trust.
it. Lily, I think you should be playing in this tournament. That's an excellent strategy.
Oh, well, maybe I get invited next time.
Oh, I'm sorry. So it looks like Twig actually landed on the wrong island, but I think that's going to be fine for him. He just wants to build a lumber camp there.
Oh, yeah. Let's just... Does he not have a market yet? Oh, no, he's in Dark Age. Okay.
And yeah, there you go. Heimdall actually built the dock. Don't see anything building from it yet, though. He's not actually taking gold. Or does he have any
built
gold
a
yet?
transporter.
Oh, it's for the transport, of course.
Yeah. And where is he using his other transporter? Okay, he's sending himself over a bit more. I think like optimal team strategy is that you don't build 4 transporters, but I think it's also tough to micro though. So I can see the reasoning for it.
I think two would be fine. But if Heimdall wanted to go for the strategy, he could have certainly done it a lot sooner. He could have done this a lot sooner in Dark Age, as opposed to waiting now.
Let's see. A Trash isn't too bad on your starting island because you're like only losing some gold, some stone, and you want to expand toward the main island anyways. So the moment you have like 10 villagers off already, you're not losing too much.
So it looks like Twig unfortunately built a barracks onto that mainland, which is not the ideal situation, obviously. And Angelina Jolie going to go scouts. Twig going to go scouts as well. And Fast Castle Age for Rogers playing as Slavs.
I think Twig is going for Fast Castle as well here. Don't you think so? It is a stable in the center, but okay, he's
Yeah,
adding
he
scouts.
could go Fast Castle.
But he has 600 food and 100 gold. Why is he adding scouts?
See what he can do with those. We have archers coming out from Dark Knight. However, they should run into the Knights of Roger. He doesn't quite have a stable up on the... Yeah, he's going towards the back, actually. So might build a stable back there. And Kamigwa going up to the Castle Age, too.
Okay, I like the defensive approach of RoR here. Because, like, yeah, they build archers, scouts, and towers now. But only pushed one guy away from the center, which didn't invest too much there. So Eagles should be way better for the RoR team.
I think if you can go towards the back, why not go for a fast castle age and put yourself in an advantage?
Well, that's what they're somewhat doing.
So it looks like Tower Rush from Heimdall not being very effective at all, which is quite unfortunate for him because that's really what his civilization offers to the table. So we'll see what he does after this.
Well, except turtle ships.
Except for turtle ships, yeah. I wish we saw this.
Oh.
Players might just forget they have them.
Yeah. Oh, some raids from Angelina Jolie, and he walled all his spearmen out, or what? Those are some losses. Mio, he didn't have loom.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's so many losses. What is that? 5-6 villagers down?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Down to 27 villagers all of a sudden.
Whoop. Oh man. Should have had loom in that situation. At least might get a lot of these scouts though with these spearmen.
Yeah, and that's in a spot where everyone builds army in the center, and you are the one losing villagers. That really shouldn't work this way.
I must have just forgotten loom.
Well, he instantly clicked it afterwards, so tricky scenario for him. Some more losses than really necessary, and well, now starting to boom on the outside. His team RoR.
Nice, great fight from the VN team, taking out all of the scouts of Angelina Jolie. Fighting against the spearmen once again was a very bad decision, as it usually is. But Castle Age coming in from some of these players, and Roger going with a quick 3-town center boom right away, and adding a few knights as well, going towards the mainland. However, Dark Knight did build a little bit of a dock there, and might be trying to take out the fishing.
Thanks so much. Yeah, the question is how much damage will he really do against those fishing ships then, right? 2 fire galleys out and... Oh. Take a look. Some engagement here at the top as well. Yellow actually losing quite a lot of unnecessary villagers in my opinion.
Yeah, so far not the best play from him. He's going to get rid of this tower, which is probably the most important thing for him right now. Although this is probably too much of a sacrifice for him to be able to go through this route.
What did I tell you who I wanted to see aggressive in the main island? The Turks. And he was trying to build a castle there, but Archers of Dark Knight blocked that. But he... Don't tell me he didn't see that. He isn't stopping the castle with the archers. They are going back. We can get the castle up after all.
Oh my gosh.
Rushing out. Did he see there? This is so weird.
So Archers from Dark Knight are actually doing fairly okay against the Knights of Roger. They don't have so many upgrades quite on them yet.
Mio even landed scouts, oh god, on the island of Angelina Jolie here to help out with the tower rush a bit more. This is so evil. Oh, beautiful team play.
Yeah, beautiful team play so far. But are there any villagers left to help with that tower rush? That doesn't would be the best play, in my opinion.
Still being active, being annoying. Okay, none of the VN players really going towards the back, and they're going heavily for their small, little, unprotected, or very protected island. Question is, can we see any more water play here from VN towards the kind of water area of RoR?
There isn't so much to gain from it. I mean, it is going to take a huge investment to be able to go onto the water. I don't see why not, though, if you're already on there, as you could take out, again, so many of the villagers around the islands for most of these players. And again, if you get pushed towards the middle island, you can fall back and towards the back. So I don't see why not.
Just, oh, the dream of turtle ships is still alive. Oh. We'll see. Pete Martell now very aggressive there with this one mining camp, kind of super unprotected in the center of the map. I'm very surprised that he is trying to get that one up.
Well, Meganel and a few Janissaries from Pete Martell. Oh, that castle could potentially go down if he's not paying attention. Castle coming up from Twig. And there we go, it's gonna get deleted.
Oh boy, that could have been ugly.
So Twig's gonna have to find another place to place his castle. Probably on the right side. Janissary is very strong, one of the strongest Castle Age units in the game right now. And you pair that up with a Meganel, and that's some really That could be something deadly at this stage of the game. Potentially going against the town centers of Milo towards the middle of the map.
Yeah, their range
Visit
is
the
pretty
castle!
sick.
Oh,
that
you deleted.
castle doesn't work either. Hoi, hoi, hoi. What is he thinking? Angelina Jolie, luckily for them, scouting that army and giving some intel. Oh no, that's the other team, right? Okay, so, well, he just needs to run. I don't really see him do much there. One Mangonel and the Janissaries, they should be doing quite some chasing.
So Milo just landed with 3 knights. They didn't have any upgrades though, so they almost died to the town center. So they're not doing too much, but...
Oh. Yeah. True. Look, and that castle, 3 very low HP villagers here. And P. Martel, he keeps chasing.
Twig is gonna have to commit to some army if he... Oh, that's gonna hurt. He's gonna commit to some army if he needs to get this castle up. But those Janissaries doing so much damage. Able to prevent that castle. Now we have Milo trying another castle over on the right side.
Yeah.
So right now, a lot of control from the Rise of Rome players right now. Just playing their very defensive play style. Now Pete Martel is able to do the damage.
Great losing all his scouts in the south, but it's obviously a tricky situation for him. It's going over with his knights maybe to clear this up. And indeed, 3 knights now coming over. Janissary numbers are looking pretty sexy though.
Yeah, and look at the villager numbers as well for the Rise of Rome team. 65 and 67 for their 2 highest players right now. No one's over 50 on the VN team.
Oh, brutal stuff. Yeah, and, well, they just didn't protect themselves well enough, right? It seems like Dark Knight, he is well protected at the left-hand side, but stayed in Fuel Age for very long, and maybe even I would have loved to see some more fishing ships at it, because look at that. It's still quite some fish around in their starting islands.
Heimdall's really not going to abandon this tower rush. He's still trying to push forward onto Angelina Jolie's base. He's got 1 villager there, built the tower. And he's trying to tower rush on the bottom too. So no other strategies that we're seeing from the Korean player.
What are Blue's villagers doing there? Oh, very aggressive castle there towards the wood line. And we saw Kamigawa was preparing another castle as well. And you see a lot of knight investment here for Twig trying to get his castle up, but against that amount of Janissaries, he simply doesn't have the numbers.
Heimdall finally getting Bid-Axe. He discovers that he needs to have a good economy, apparently, to go this amount of towers. And this push from Pete Martel is looking very strong. I don't see any counter, really, to these Janissaries at this stage of the game. Miller's going to try to make a few Mangonite, maybe snipe off the Mangonel. It's going to be very hard to do. Meanwhile, Kamigwa going into the Imperial Age.
Oh boy, already, and he showed us how much he can do with an early Byzantine imp there. The problem for Pete Martel is, though, he just lost all his gold villagers there at the front because Dark Knight came over. And, well, he only has 5 villagers working on gold, not too efficiently there. Let's take a look. Mio, he's maybe trying to go for the clear up against the Janissaries now.
Yeah, it doesn't quite have enough at this point, but looks like the Byzantine player is going to go Halbs, and the Slavish player is going to go heavy into Knights.
Take a look at that. So, Kamigawa, Halb ideas for him. Dark Knight, does he have any good answers to that? Well, he has some crossbows, will lose some in the castle though. Right click there, no reaction from him. Those are some unfortunate losses. Mangonel's coming over as well. I think he will get cleared up here in the center.
Yeah, gonna lose all those crossbows. Gonna take a big hit, and that's gonna be down to those crossbows. So the army is so much more formidable for the Rise of Rome team. Coinage now coming in from Heimdall, so it looks like he's gonna sling one of these players. Who do you think is the best player for him to sling?
Let me think about this. First of all, there's something weird going on. Oh god, okay. Sorry for that. Let me think about it. Maybe the Mongols later for the strongest army? Don't really see Chinese being too great, and Dark Knight he's too far off and cannot really do too much. It kind of has to be the Mongols player.
It has to be, but I think it's going to be too late. I mean, it's going to take so long for them to get all their upgrades in a good mass. And, you know, Roger's fully invested in the castle. He's got a ton of knights. We have the Janissaries here. We now have Rams from Angelina Jolie. And, of course, we haven't even seen our Byzantine player, which is at him.
Oh, well, I wasn't happy when I said sing the Mongols player, but it might be the best option here. Well, we will see. It is apparently sling to Mio. So indeed, they are slinging the Mongols player who's now on the way to Imperial Age.
Well, luckily, I think, again, with this map, it should buy them a lot of time. It takes so long for them to walk around the edges of the map, and you can, of course, wall them as well. That's a good benefit to them. Luckily, Dark Knight is going to be safe over there on the left side, at least for the time being, as players mostly focus towards the middle. And maybe they can hold out on this game for quite some time.
Let's take a look. Overall population looks somewhat similar. One player, Imp. Twig is now following Imp as well. RoR, we only have one towards Imp. It's really tough for me to call. It feels like the overall control of the map seems in favor of RoR.
No, I think RoR definitely has a significant advantage in this game. In fact, if this was a normal game, you know, it might be an advantage you can't come back from. But I'm just saying, because of this map, it might be hard to finish out a game even if you have a significant advantage, at least until resources in the back run out, as far as gold is concerned.
Oh, let's take a look. It's still, I still believe in the power of the Mango Die, but yeah, it's a lot of players now upgrading to Imperial Age. The quick walls of Mio not really happening here either, or are they? He's trying to make it happen and, well, delaying that attack a bit. Might get his castle up at the right hand side, but oh, it could be some big losses here.
I believe in the power of the Mango Die too, but I think I would build my castles further back and maybe try to wall out the sides. I think the longer they can wait, the more chances they could have at coming back in the game.
At Castle, he certainly wasn't too aggressive there and saved him quite in time. And he's getting resources, but not enough gold to really get into his Mango Die's numbers. Not the greatest amount of upgrades on them either. Now selling a lot of wood there, but the prices aren't great. Look at that. Wood price at 14 to sell.
Well, here we go. Elite Mango Die coming in. And I mean, there isn't a great unit really to deal with the Mango Die in this particular team. They're going to do the GG right there. And Rise of Rome, good to take that series.
That's a bit too early for
I think
my
it's too early,
taste.
yeah. That was too early. Again, I think in a normal game might be GG, but I think you could just wall the sides of the map and just hold out for a while. I think the middle has a lot of space, but it doesn't actually have a lot of valuable resources there, at least compared to the other sides.
Maybe going a bit more to the back could have helped out.
Yeah, I think so. But either way, good game.
Well, and I said, it's a good... You have to go for a mixed strategy there. Some in the back boom and some in the front and get that aggression. And that's simply what RoR did so much better. And they won the game.
All right, so next series. I think let's check the time for the next series. So next series is at 20 GMT. It is... That is in half an hour. So I'm going to take a half-hour break and then I'll come back. I have to eat some lunch. I'll leave you with this lovely soundtrack for now. And let me change the flags as well. Hey everyone. I had my lunch. And so this game should be starting. I mean, it's scheduled for start in 2 minutes. They have to start within 20 minutes. On average, they've been starting 10 minutes past, so I assume this will start about 10 minutes past, maybe 15. And yeah, I think everyone can agree that mines would probably be the best pick in most situations, having 2 mines. I don't, I mean, under what situation would you like to? Because I don't know. Do Aztecs if you want a faster imp, you know, Eagle Rush, stronger Eagles and Castle Age maybe, but the mines are overall much more versatile. And probably stronger economy as well, so I would definitely go with mines. And I'm gonna put 5 more minutes on the timer, and I'll be back then. No, the music is from
Yeah.
Medieval 2, Total
Especially
War soundtrack.
because nobody 41 will be around again.
Yes, I'm still here.
Great to have you. And CM against Watch, seed number 4 against number 5 should be a close one.
Yeah, absolutely. These civilizations are probably the most interesting that we've seen so far, with the Mezzo having to repick theirs.
Yeah, and what can you really repick? Like your pocket civilization will always kind of be bad.
Yeah, I would
And
go with Mayans. I think Mayans are the most versatile. Unless Aztecs, you might have a good early Imperial, where if you need like Castle Age Eagles to be really good for like a very aggressive map. But I think Mayans in most situations would be just the best.
yeah, but what can you do against double castle Kongs of Chile? Mass monks?
I guess we'll
We'll
find
find
out.
out. 200 plumes, potentially. Let's take a look.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome to this final series in the quarterfinal matchup between CM and WOTC. I'm joined here with Nilly, and let's introduce some of these players. So we have red, teal, orange, and green. So over in green, we have Clement playing as the Aztecs, as the flank position. In orange, we have Staux playing as the Mayans pocket, Barney playing as the Incas pocket, and in red, we have Eddie playing as the Mayans flank.
Okay, well, I, with my 7 years of French, maybe should have introduced those. It's obviously called Clément
Oh, I'm sorry.
and Citron, Bonnet, and L'Eddie. But okay, on the other side we have Noisig playing the Celts, the Franks pocket here. We also have Whitecourt, Britain's pocket, and Spanish flank. So no, the perfect positioning here for CM.
Yeah, certainly the British pocket's not the most lovely thing in the world to have. And Spanish are good either way. Frank's pocket is pretty good, and then Celt's flank is pretty good actually as well. So it's just really the British pocket that I disagree with.
Yeah, well, Spanish pocket would have been the dream. Celts is probably something you like a bit more at the flank, can do some shenanigans there with man-at-arms,
Yes.
can do reasonable crossbows. Not too great in imp on either position. Probably the flank a bit better if you can go into Halberdier Siege.
Yeah, absolutely. And half expecting a restart here, maybe because they don't like the British pocket, but you know, hopefully that won't be the case. So they did opt for double mines. Do you think double mines is the right choice on Arabia?
Yes, absolutely. It's just probably, as we said earlier, the strongest civ. If you ever get pocket, then go on to plumes and then help out your flank. It's so much better than Incas or Aztecs.
So I'm under the impression that, yeah, I think it's a pretty strong impression that these Meso civilizations will be at a very big disadvantage going into late game. Do you agree with that?
Say again, sorry. I was funny to someone else.
The Meso civilizations will be at a huge disadvantage late game.
Yeah, especially against Spanish. I believe what, although the players themselves aren't like the super aggressive guys, I feel they should really play this quite aggressively. And I'm a bit shocked that they're restarting this one. Eddie, maybe he didn't have the best start. I'm a bit surprised that they're calling this here.
Yeah, well, maybe they wanted the double pocket Mayans. That would have been something I've never seen before.
Yeah. Neither did I. But that's just like, you cannot really hope for that, right?
Yeah, of course, it's very low probability. You know all about those probabilities, of course, as a poker
I
player.
obviously do. Well, it's just finishing 6th grade. Allow you.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, but being a primary school teacher allows me to know all the odds. Yeah.
All right, so they're going to restart, and so we have our civilizations picked out already now.